Okay, the finale of Loki aired this week, and I'm about to break it down really quick. So for anyone who found this video before they watched the finale, this is your spoiler warning right here. Get out of here before the title slide ends, and then come back to us after you've seen the episode. Please, and
thank you for your cooperation.
By the way, if you didn't know already, I'm Antonio Ache, and this is ComicRomance. So the Loki series has been 6 weeks of twists and turns, and I don't know about y'all, but it felt like longer, didn't it?
Time passes differently here in the TVA.
The episode opens with noticeable dialogue from the MCU, and even a few real-world quotes from the likes of Maya Angelou, Greta Thunberg, and Nelson Mandela, which is a nice nod considering the Mandela effect is the thought that distorted memories are in fact accurate recollections of events that happened differently or not at all, as if some remnant of temporal tampering. So all this time the world has been wondering who was behind the TVA and why is it still not Mephisto? And this was the time for us to find out. It was Kang! Of course it was Kang. This time though, he's going by the moniker of He Who Remains, which is the name of the man who created the Timekeepers in the comic. This version of Kang is holed up in a castle with hourglass windows and a sort of pocket dimension that appears to be outside the time stream that the TVA is working so hard to maintain. Before Loki and Sylvie actually meet him, they are stopped by Miss Minutes, who tries one last time to manipulate the two of them for reasons I don't fully get. And after they refuse, the doors open and there's Jonathan Majors, bringing us what will probably be the nicest version of Kang that we encounter in the coming years. He's dressed in a purple cloak similar to his color scheme in the comics, but differently than his comic counterpart, he has a shirt with a gold circular area on it. That's reminiscent of the Eye of Agamotto. Sylvie, of course, attempts to kill him in the elevator, and he uses his TemPad to avoid her attacks. His TemPad, by the way, like his castle, is dark marble decorated and looks like a stylized version of Stark's time GPS that the Avengers wore in Endgame. In the comics, his origin is more closely tied to Reed Richards and Victor Von Doom, but seeing as how neither of them are available yet, and Tony is the first to tinker with time in the MCU, it makes sense for Kang's tech to be a futuristic version of Stark's. Although, random thought, there was a ship in the opening visuals that looked like a cross between a quadjet and the Mulatto, so leave a comment if you think that that ship might belong to the Fantastic Four, or SWORD, or anybody else important. While Kang is explaining what it all means, he's eating a green apple, which is a nod to the first form of time manipulation we were introduced to in Doctor Strange, and the green of the Time Stone itself. Kang reveals to us that he is not the Kang we've all been expecting him to be, and that he created the TVA in an effort to stave off all of the worst variants of himself that occur in other timelines. He then tells the Lokis that he is alright with whichever they decide, whether they choose to take the reins and run things the way they want to, or kill him and let it all go wild. Basically, he's just tired. We are then treated to a fun fight between Loki and Sylvie. They're both using varying degrees of telekinesis, proving that was indeed how Loki stopped that falling building in episode 3. But in the end, our Loki decides to appeal to Sylvie's emotions instead of physically fighting her. They share a brief yet passionate kiss, and then she tosses him back in the TVA using Kang's TemPad. Now, all of this is happening while B-15 and Mobius are trying to enlighten the rest of the TVA drones, the first step of which is proving that they are not born there, but instead plucked from other timelines. In the scene at FDR's school, where the pin was from, we see a diploma for Rebecca Tormenay, which is one of Renslayer's aliases in the comics. So Loki sits and stews in his defeat, and then finally decides to get up and go do something, but as we see, when he meets up with B-15 and Mobius, they don't recognize him, because the timeline has been rewritten already. This was the third of the MCU Disney Plus shows to blow our minds and rock our emotions this year, and it ended with one final twist. It's the first to have a guaranteed second season. Things are going to be drastically different by the time we get to season 2, because similar to the end of WandaVision episode 9, all we can think of right now is the multiverse. We know we have No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness to look forward to, so do us a favor and fill the comments section with any and all theories as to how those movies will be directly impacted by these series. If you enjoyed the Loki series, give this video a like. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell, and you can be alerted the next time we drop a video. So until the next time one of the Disney Plus shows drastically changes our cinematic universe, I've been Antonio Ache, and this has been ComicRomance, where we do nerdy reviews with the occasional boost.